What's up, twisted people? It's your girl here, Chauncey K. Robinson, aka Twisted One CKR, and I am joined here by my brother, Damon D. Rock Robinson, the other half of Fried Disciples.
Yes.
And my mama and our mama in the background, Karen Robinson, who you can also find on Charmed each week. Did you just mute yourself? I didn't know it's good.
Hey, baby, what y'all doing? Hey, people.
Got the whole family. Got most of the family here. Michael Damien, the other half of Fried Disciples, and my partner, also part of our family. He's probably in the chat, I believe. And my father's downstairs. So the whole family is somewhere in the cosmic internet world, y'all. And today we are talking Loki episode 4, the 4th episode of a 6-episode season. And we're talking about Loki. I got some feelings about the episode. We're going to talk about what our thoughts are of this episode, overall thoughts, what grade we would give it, and then we're going to talk about what actually happened this episode. Not much, once again, although some revelations were had, and then that post-credit scene. We got to talk about the post-credit scene, and then our predictions and stuff. So for those of you who are joining us in the chat, thank you for joining us in the chat. And thank you for those of you who are joining us in the replay. It's always appreciated when y'all are here with us talking about stories, because we love talking about stories here. And if you haven't already, please do give this video a thumbs up, give it a like, feed the YouTube algorithm monster and whatnot. So let's talk about our thoughts on Loki episode 4. It's hey Bannon, thanks for joining us in the chat. It's always great to see you. Michael, of course, with the Woo Fried Disciples. Bannon is saying, I don't know, there was a lot of plot that moved along this episode. Yeah. There was a lot of plot. Some plot we could have done without. In certain regards. So let's get into it. First and foremost, I want to know what y'all in the chat and also in the replay, what is your grade that you would give this episode? And why? Why would you give that grade? And Damon, I want to start with you. What grade would you give this episode and why?
I gave it I was going to give it an A. Let me start off by saying that.
Okay.
I was going to give it an A, but right when it was going off, it jumped up to an A+ for me.
Okay, because of the post-credit scene.
Yeah, because I was a little bit upset and sad at the end, but then it joyed me right back up. Because
you thought Loki was dead.
Yeah.
Did you really think Loki was dead? This is literally his
The funny
show.
thing is that once it happened, I said, "Damn, that darn Mike was right." That nigga said he won't make it through the season, and then he said that.
Yes, but I think Michael was more so because for those of y'all who Michael Damien actually made a prediction that he thought they were going to kill Loki, but I would have figured even if they do that, it would be like the 6th episode, not the 4th when there's 2 more episodes to go. But okay, so you gave it an A+. So you thought this episode had everything you wanted when it came to what you were expecting for this series.
Yeah, it was good. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the episode. It was fighting, plot twists, introductions. If you really looked, it was good. It was all right.
Yeah, Bannon is saying, I give this episode an A+ just for the twist and unexpected things that happen and the 4 more Lokis. Yeah.
Look right, and when it was going off, I'm like, wow, they done pulled a like a Walking Dead or a Game of Thrones on me. They killing off big names. So I'm like,
yeah.
I said, okay.
With everyone who died, yeah.
Anybody could get it.
Okay, so I would give this episode a B. Mainly because although there were revelations, in hindsight, it was probably better than the last episode. But I still think like the best episode of this whole series so far has been episode 1, first and foremost. And it's just something, I don't know. It's not so much that these things feel anticlimactic for me. I like the fact that there's revelations. I like the fact that things seem to be happening. But I don't know. I just feel like for some show that's supposed to be intergalactic cosmic, I just feel like this feels small to me at times. I don't know if it's because of the office setting or what, but it just feels kind of small. And I like some of the revelations, like the idea that the timekeepers that we saw were fake, that they were androids. It brings up the question of who are the real timekeepers? How did this begin? Was Ravonna always aware of this? I'm glad that we got to see more of Ravonna. I think she is a very interesting character. I'm not ready to put her straight into the villain territory. I'm more so thinking that she's going to be another complicated, layered figure in terms of maybe an anti-hero, depending on the long game that they may be playing with this character. And, Hunter B-15 coming through in the clutch at the end and things like that. There were some aspects of this I really enjoyed. And then there were some aspects where I was just like, is this where we're going with this show? Why are you doing that? Mainly the Sylvie and Loki sort of maybe romance with each other. I think that is so weird and just ridiculous.
That's what you love on yourself, huh?
No, because this whole season seemingly has been about the idea of Loki and self-acceptance. And I get that the whole thing is this idea of if he can love some other version of himself, maybe that's symbolic of him loving himself. But why can't it be a platonic family kind of love? We've known Sylvie for all of one whole episode, plus this one where we didn't see her that much. It just seems really weird that I'm supposed to believe that now he has these super duper strong feelings for this character who we still don't even know a lot of. And honestly, if we think about it, her main draw that many of us came to kind of like her was the fact that she was another version of Loki, because many of us like Loki. So it's kind of like, I don't know what exactly the creators were thinking with this. And I know for a fact that I'm not alone, because there are plenty of people online right now who are quite highly not feeling this. I think this is probably one of the most panned decisions in a minute when it comes to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, that universally there are so many people who are just like, no, nobody wanted this. Please, God, no. Like, that is what I'm literally seeing online. People are not for whatever they're trying to do. And yet I did some reading, because once it happened, I'm like, are they really doing this? But we'll talk about that in a little bit, because I have something from some of the writers and things and the showrunner about the thoughts on the Sylvie. I don't see anything wrong with it, Damon. But then again, you don't necessarily watch the show for that, right? So you can kind of you can compartmentalize that. You're like, okay, whatever. That's what they're doing. Whatever.
I mean, that's things they do. Well, how long did it take Thor to fall for the Jane character? How long did that take? A day or two? What's wrong with it happening?
I think this does speak to it's not that makes it better. I think this speaks to another issue that the Marvel Cinematic Universe has, is they don't know how to write romance. The way they are so horrible when it comes to developing actual romantic relationships that people can get behind. The only one I think that they've done a better job at developing it, only because I feel like they had to, because maybe there was just a different crew on there, and I don't even like this version of it, is the Spider-Man that we recently have with Mary Jane and him and whatnot.
Look, I was about to mention that. They didn't really even could really start a romance with them yet, right?
I think they did in the latest one. I didn't see the latest one.
About to come out?
No, the one that already came out. Weren't they kind of sort of hinting at it with them?
They probably was hinting at it, but it hasn't happened.
Yeah.
It's not like the old ones where from the beginning, that's who he wants.
Yeah.
It's not like that. In the first one, I don't even know if we seen her, but
well, she wasn't the main person. It was someone else that he had fell for, and they even did that okay. I just Yeah, this is just not good.
The best
But
romance
I
they doing
honestly,
is Vision and
oh yes, Wanda
that's the
and
best.
Vision
That's
is
the best
the
they've done.
best relationship
Yeah,
Marvel Cinematic Universe
yeah, that's the
has
best.
done.
That's the
And I
best
would
they've done.
argue that that started kind of haphazard because one movie suddenly they were kind of together and they were, and at first I was like, really? But then the fact of WandaVision really just developed that relationship to such even more cosmic level. And they really did do that so well. And I would argue that that's the best one they got.
That's the best one.
You know, all the other ones are just either out of
No,
nowhere, they
what-
don't earn it.
What's the name ain't too bad either, but you don't like. I don't think. I don't
Well,
know. If you
Iron
like that.
Man,
No, I'm talking about Ant-Man and the Wasp. To me,
yeah.
that was good. But once again, I'm not even looking at it from the MCU. I'm looking at these matches already being together
in the comics, yeah.
and it coming, and you know.
And then and they're pulling from stuff that's already been established. So how can you really mess up stuff that's already kind of been established?
Well,
you just kind of have to pull from it.
They can.
And they do, and they have, yes. I know your big thing was how they put Hulk
in the Black
Widow when Hulk clearly has Betty. And it was like, okay, so we are never going to bring in Betty. We're just going to do this. Cool. What are the chat saying? Chat saying, Michael said, same. It felt really small for massive concepts in terms of the show. I give it a B. I still think Loki might die, and I felt so validated until the end of the episode that he was going to. Until the post-credit scene, Michael felt like he was right. Bannon is saying the romance is weird, but if you read Norse mythology, Loki is very fluid. I mean, he turned himself into a mare and had sex with a stallion and gave birth to a horse.
I just said that last episode, right?
Like, yeah, and I think Michael, when Michael and I were watching it, he said the same thing, that Loki actually had sex as a horse. So it's not so weird that Loki would have weird unions. I just felt like it was just so out of nowhere for storytelling. I feel like stuff like that can work in comics, but I think you have to build it up a little bit more to be believable on screen.
It explained to me what made that Nexus branch. Because I was wondering, like, what the hell? What did that come from? I didn't even think of the fact that them two liking each other is what made the branch and made them able to find them. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, I thought something was happening because when she touched his hand and there was some kind of moment between them, I was like, okay, maybe this means something, or maybe he sensed something was going to happen. So I guess we'll see with that. I can't fathom that simply because he fell for her at that moment, that suddenly that is a Nexus event, because technically they were supposed, and someone actually mentioned this in comics, but we'll talk about that in a section, that there's a little bit of something that doesn't make a little bit of sense there.
I mean, that's what Mobius said. He said, y'all don't even, the way he explained it was you don't even, when he said how he knew they was falling for it, he's like, y'all don't even know that two Loki that being connected at that level, that's what created that the Nexus, the branch, the Nexus branch.
Yeah. Mistress 9 is saying, at this point, George Lucas does romance better. yeah, exactly. Michael Damon saying, romance in this show is looking at someone you agree with before you die. Yeah, it's very like that. It's like, yeah, it's that kind of level. Bannon saying, it did seem like narcissism was the word of the day. It was. And even Mobius said, he was like, how narcissistic? Like, you would fall for yourself? Like, who does that?
But they're different, though. That's why maybe I'm like, all right, they're
different in how.
They're the same, but they're different.
They're the same, and they're different in the sense of how she's playing it and how she grew up. But at the essence, I feel like they're part of the same cosmic family, and it's just too weird for me. And I just think it's a little lazy on their part. But okay, so you gave it an A+. I'm giving it a B overall, but let's get into what actually happened in this episode. And y'all, let us know in the chat and also in the replay, if you haven't already, what do you give this grade for this episode? What's your grade for this episode? And also be sure to like this video if you have not already. Okay, so basically we had some major revelations. Let's mainly focus on the revelations and some of the things that stood out. We have it so basically that that we find out that the timekeepers that we saw who were in that special room are androids, that they're not real necessarily. And then that begins the question of who is behind the TVA? Who is it that gives these directives of how the timeline is supposed to be? If these are androids, who decides what's a variant and what's not? Who decides that someone went off the timeline and deserves to get, pruned or whatnot? Who's making those decisions? So that was one of the main things that happened. We also got that some variants who are part of the TVA had their great awakening. Hunter B15 had her hero moment. We love it. We love to see it. She's a great actress. And she had her hero moment because she basically also went to Sylvie and found out that she was a variant, and she believed her, and she helped them out in that moment. We also got Mobius coming to grips with it, but then Mobius gets pruned and we don't know where he went. There's hope that since Loki got pruned and he went somewhere, that maybe, Mobius did as well. Maybe everyone that gets pruned goes somewhere, but we don't know where. Maybe another dystopian place. Who knows? So these are kind of the main things that happened in this. The main revelation. The other one was, and we'll talk about it, the sort of maybe romantic feelings that Loki might have for the other Loki, Sylvie. And then, Ravonna in all of this, right? Who also kind of showed her true colors, but we're not really sure. But Gugu did an amazing job. And I'm excited to see where they're going to take that character of Ravonna as well. Okay, Damon, so let's talk about the first thing. Let's get it out the way so we can talk about it. The Timekeepers. So the Timekeepers are fake. So seemingly, I like the way they looked. It was very cool. No one looked like Kang of the three. Seeming funny enough.
Up there they didn't, but we know in the statues and stuff he do. We know that. Do
we?
I mean, the guy did he have the thing in his head?
I think one of them did.
The main guy that was supposed to be him looked nothing like them statues. He looked older. I don't know if they age, but he looked older. It didn't look like the same face to me.
So what do you think's going on there? What did you think of that reveal? Did you like the fact that it turned out that it was like the Wizard of Oz?
Actually, somebody said that he thought there was a fake TVA and that the Timekeepers was fake. Oh, that was me who said that. That's right. Yeah, somebody had said that, and so I already knew. I was expecting it to be that.
So what do you think this is going?
I ain't gonna lie, I was a little shook and a little bit like, damn, another theory done went out the. But then I said no. See, I knew them guys was fake. I knew it wasn't them. I expected that though.
What do you think? Do you think they're drawing something from the comics? Is there something from the comics that hints at this, or do you think this is just Marvel going somewhere with it?
Honestly, if it would be like the time twisters in it, I would say okay, they pulling something from the comics. I can't tell with them though. I'm honestly gonna keep it 100 with y'all. When it comes to the MCU, sometimes I'll be like, all right, it's going one way, and then they do a total about face and they take it the way they want to take it. They'll blend two characters together. They do what they do. I can't really tell. Now I just sit back and be surprised like everybody else. So it wouldn't shock me. Like I said, I believe it's something deeper going on over in there, but it might just turn around where they might not show us that maybe this season. Maybe Ravonna will be the big bad in this season, because it seems like they like doing that.
Yeah. Okay.
But I wasn't shocked that the TVA that they was machines.
So you weren't shocked.
No.
So who do you think built the androids?
I mean, honestly, right now, I don't know. I know. I'm not saying. I still think for them to have Ravonna in this, Kang is somewhere about. So possibly he could have made them, but who knows? We know from the comics that one of the old TVA guys made the Timekeepers. So maybe the MCU was hinting that they were always androids.
Okay.
And maybe to Ravonna being, instead of he who remains, is going to be she who remains.
Okay. Bannon is saying Hunter B-15 was the MVP of this episode and she rocked. Hope that's not the last we see of her. I agree.
Yes.
Hunter B-15.
Wine in the rain with water glistening all over her combat.
Okay. Calm down, sir. Yes, she was glorious, but calm down. Down boy. She's great. And I'm glad that I hope that she continues to have a bigger role. And that,
I hope they make her one of the justices. Maybe
she becomes a justice or something. I would love that. I think she's a great character. I think they built her up as well.
I can't remember. Did she get pruned that episode?
She didn't get pruned. She got knocked down.
Knocked out. Okay.
And then we don't know what happened to her. She was knocked unconscious. Mistress 9 is saying she's a great actress. Loved her in His House. Yes, she is also in the horror movie His House, which I have a review of. If you have not watched it already, you can check out my spoiler-free review of His House if you're thinking about watching it. Bannon is saying maybe the 3 Timekeepers are Doctor Strange, Wanda, and Loki. I doubt it. I don't think so. Not yet.
I can see Loki taking over, though. I think I said that in the past episode also, that I could see this ending up with Loki being the head of this TVA.
Yeah.
If there's nobody else behind Ravonna.
Bannon is also saying, no, I think Ravonna is working for someone because she seems scared. I think Damon might be right about that. Don't blow up his head too much because he has been wrong before in major ways, right? We saw with WandaVision. So we don't know. And I think we've all been at times disappointed. I still don't think Kang's gonna make a appearance here. I don't see that happening, especially if Loki has been renewed for a season 2, which I think it has been. I'd be hard pressed to think anything that's going to happen here. It actually kind of, to me, makes it even more of a thing that maybe they probably won't have this connect to other movies that are coming out in the near future because of the fact that they've already got a season 2 going on. And for anything to connect, we'd have to get like a season 2 that would be happening after some of these other movies, right? So I don't know. That makes me not think that we have a connection with Kang just yet. Someone mentioned someone called the Beyonder. I don't know who that is. I saw online. Some people think it might be the Beyonder. Damon, do you know who the Beyonder is?
Yeah, I told you. We went online when we were talking about.
Yeah, who's the Beyonder?
The Beyonder, he's one of them powerful beings. He plays with humanities and humanities superheroes. The Beyonder is the guy that took everybody to a planet where he had them all fight in secret wars. Not secret invasion. This is different. Secret wars. This is when you had you had your villains and your superheroes all fighting each other. A lot of people got killed. Some people ain't make it out. It was a comic book series on this, and he looks like David Hasselhoff from Knight Rider.
Okay.
And the time that's how they had him looking like. He looked, or either that or the guy from Highway to Heaven, because he had the little the curly fro like the Beyond. He's another cosmic guy. I don't see him having anything really to do with this. But who knows? Like I said, they do what they want to do, man.
Yeah, because some people are saying it might be the Beyonder that's behind all of this. This is the thing about this reveal. I think it's awesome because I do think it's like, well, who is controlling all this? Who makes the decision that someone is a variant? But then I think this does make us wonder, like, well, who's been making all these decisions for all this time? And I do think it has to be a big time person. I just am not sure exactly it's going to be Kang. I do think it has to be a big time person that they have end up being there because, it's going to have to be a pretty big reveal. It can't just be an Agatha from WandaVision doing something like that, because this person clearly had a lot of power to be making those kind of decisions. And then this brings in the question of Ravonna and what role she plays. Do we think that Ravonna is someone who just really believes in the mission, and maybe she too was thinking that, you know, that the Timekeepers were real and she was just really devoted? Because you saw hints of that when she was talking to Mobius and things like that, till the end of time. I care about you. I don't want anything to happen to you with Mobius, things like that. And I don't think she was totally manipulating him. I think part of it was simply really stop digging for stuff. I don't want anything to happen to you, because if you dig too deep, something might end up happening to, which lets you know that something else is going on there. But I don't think Ravonna is an Agatha. I don't think Ravonna is the Agatha of Loki. And when I say Agatha, for those of you who didn't watch WandaVision, spoiler alert, Agatha was the big bad of that season in a way. But yet she wasn't necessarily some huge cosmic kind of overreaching character. She was more like, I have my own like personal agenda. That's why I'm kind of in on all this. I don't think that's what we're going to get with Ravonna. I do think they may be playing a longer game with her. But I don't think she's out and out evil. But I am curious to what y'all are thinking about Ravonna. Do you think that she's straight up evil, or do you think she's maybe is part of some other bigger plan that she think is righteous? So let us know in the comment section, and also in the live chat. Damon, what do you think? Do you think Ravonna is straight up evil, or do you think there's something else going on there?
I've been stated that I thought she was like somebody over her. I still think that. My main thing is that got me wondering how far off from her original storyline are they going to take it? Now, if this up in the air and they can go anywhere with it, it's a chance she might just be the big bad, or not the big bad, but the Agatha type, that she's just there to until they can. It's only 6 episodes, right? So
2 more episodes now.
So maybe she's just there until they and in the second season we'll find out who's controlling her, who's running her. You know, I don't think she's evil, because after she pruned Mobius and she told everybody to leave. You could tell she had a little bit of feeling. She didn't really want to do it.
Yeah.
You know, she felt bad about it. And also she looked scared when Sylvie was like she's about to prune, when she didn't prune her, and she said, no, you're going to tell me everything. It's like she'd have rather got pruned. Yeah,
she said it. She was like, do it. So that was also weird to me too, when she was like, just do it. Like, why would she be so willing? She wasn't like, do it, I dare you. It was like, do it, just get rid of me. So it seems like maybe there's something going on there.
Unless she knows when you prune people, they don't die, they go somewhere else. Unless she knows that. Because I thought they died. I didn't know that. Unless it just happens to Lokis.
Why are the Lokis so special? Or are the Lokis so special?
I mean,
that's the question. Why is it always Lokis that they're dealing with when it comes to the chaos? Who has that out against a Loki? Are we going to find some Norse goddess? The question is this going to be kind of Norse god contained, where there's some other Norse mythology within the Thor segment of the MCU that maybe has an issue with Lokis in general, and those are the ones that they've always tried to keep, you know?
It could be. I'm thinking, because I feel she was lying about her not knowing the reason, not remembering why.
Oh yeah, she was like, I don't remember.
So I'm thinking it's a reason for that. You know, because she made this thing like this girl was a variant. She wasn't supposed to be there, but she was in her own timeline.
It was also weird when they showed the flashback of young Sylvie taking Ravonna's thing, and I felt like she had enough time to grab her. You know what I mean? And she kind of just lets her open the thing and then like run away. And I'm like, why didn't she run after her? Like, it just seemed kind of weird that there was such a pause. You know what I mean? Like, it was just such a pause in terms of, I felt like she could have grabbed her. I felt like it would have been easy to just like grab her quickly or have someone else grab her, but she didn't. She just kind of looked at her run away. And I'm like, giving a lot of space for that. That's kind of weird. Michael Damian actually has an interesting take on some of the symbols that we keep seeing when it comes to the Timekeepers. Mike Damian is saying the same symbols that white supremacists stole from Norse mythology were on the walls of the fake Timekeepers room. So the Timekeepers definitely are a bunch of fascists. That could be it, or it could be maybe the idea that just because white supremacists stole the symbol is still part of Norse mythology, right? But that actually would connect to what we were just saying, that maybe this has something to do with the Norse mythology, which would make it more self-contained, right? If they make it so that this series doesn't somehow connect to WandaVision and future Doctor Strange movie, then it would be something that's a little bit more contained to the Thor, Loki area of things, which I could see happening. That something's going on more so in their area of stuff rather than not. But it's also an interesting take. There's also an interesting take in that regard. So, let's see. Bannon is saying, no, I agree Kang won't make an appearance, at least not more than a cameo, but I think he might be hinted at.
I think he would have to be. Like I said, unless they, they're saying, look, we could take any Marvel character and start them and give them unless they're saying stuff like that, then to have Ravonna in this, Kang would have to be hinted to somewhere along the line.
Maybe. Bannon is saying to Damien, Michael Damian, good catch. I didn't even pick up on that. And Michael Damian goes further and saying the GOP used that symbol to make their debate stage during the last election. And the internet called them out on it. A little political carryover from Falcon. Yeah.
Captain America.
Mistress 9 is saying bring back Agatha.
Why not, right? I think Agatha could be reformed.
Yeah.
She has in the comics.
Bannon is saying, I think Ravonna is complex. I don't think she is straight up evil, but I think she is an agent of something who see humanity like ants, which all roads would lead to Kang in that regard. Yeah. I don't know. They might hint at him. I just think it would be wasted and they haven't seemed to be doing that, hinting at anyone in any of the shows that are supposed to appear in the movies. That's all I'm saying. That it seems a little. And Mistress 9 is saying, I was convinced it was Mephisto in WandaVision, so it's not Kang. So it's not going to be Kang.
Come on. Let sleeping dogs lie.
Listen, Damon, it's going to keep carrying because it's all connected. Sorry, can't run away from it. Booksworthy is saying, I think Ravonna has someone above her. I just don't think she knows who it is. I also think she just resigned to her role as the judge. Yeah. Bannon saying, I hope it's not a Norse god thing.
I don't think it is.
Yeah.
I think she do know too. I think she.
I think she knows more. But the question is why? Yeah. Like, what is she doing there? Just kind of buying time and just letting them do their thing?
Look. She also knew that there was machines up there.
Yeah.
Because if she didn't, she'd have been just as shocked as they was.
Did they show her face when it happened?
No,
she was knocked out.
She was lying in wait until Loki went to say he felt other Loki loved her.
I feel like she was knocked out. She knocked her out.
Yeah, she might have been knocked out, but she still happened to wake up just at the nick of time.
Mm-hmm. This is a picture that I'm showing now for those of you who are watching of the Beyonder. That's what he looks like. Kind of a weird, cocky frat boy, Jesus God thing going on here.
From Knight Rider, just instead of a black jacket is white.
Yeah.
But it's more as it goes on. You see like more likeness to him. You have to really see it.
Yeah. So some people think that Beyonder might be the one behind this as well.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
What did they see that made them think that is what I was wondering.
I think it's just more so it's like who could control all of this. I think that's more of it.
But it's way more than him. It's other people, it's other guys out there. I would say that I would rather go with He Who Remains is the one controlling anything.
And remind us again, Damon, who is He Who Remains?
He is one of the last TVA agents from a prior timeline that eventually got destroyed, and he created the Timekeepers to keep the timeline straight. And then it was said that they made the TVA all over again.
So he created the Timekeepers.
Yeah, he created the Time Twisters also. But the Time Twisters, that's a different story. They haven't even.
So what happened to the first TVA then?
I guess they all they say is that timeline was destroyed, and the last guy who was left from, I guess it was either wars or whatever happened when the timeline was destroyed. However, it destroyed things. It destroyed the whole TVA, and only one man was left. And he called himself the One Who Remained. And he created the Time Twisters when they did something wrong. He created the Timekeepers to fix the wrong that the Time Twisters did.
Okay.
And TVA and our version of the TVA all started from that.
Okay.
But this
that would be interesting. I'd be okay with that.
This doesn't seem like it's going that way, because in that version of the Timekeepers, which is the comic book version, all the people in the TVA are clones. They were actually born in the TVA, like Mobius and this thing was saying. They're not variants.
But maybe that's how he wanted to start it. Maybe he needed soldiers and he decided to just kidnap people from their timeline.
Well, it doesn't say that in the comics. I'm just going.
Oh, damn it! I'm just saying that in terms of who it could potentially be behind all this.
Yeah,
He Remain sounds probably pretty close in a way.
Could be, or
they tweak it.
But see, me saying that and me going with that would throw a monkey wrench into what I originally said, which I think Kang is behind all this.
Okay. But I don't think they're gonna have Kang make an appearance. So it has to be. It's probably gonna be someone else.
I also said I don't think he will make an appearance. I said I think he will be hinted to.
But wouldn't that be so lackluster for a 6-episode for a season to not have a big bad in some way make an appearance?
We just went through 2 shows that didn't have a big bad.
No, they did.
They just had a bad.
They had a bad.
Agatha's not a big bad.
But Damon, what I'm saying though, if you're saying that Ravonna is doing all of this for Kang and all we do is get to hint at it, then that would mean that nobody's revealed and there's no big battle or anything like that. And I'm saying there has to be some sort of big battle. The question is who's going to lead it. In WandaVision, it was Agatha, right? And this one, it has to be someone. If we're not seeing Kang and we know Ravonna isn't strong enough, there has to be someone else that who is able to have some fight or something to challenge Loki. That's what I'm saying. If you aren't gonna, you can't have Kang come in and do a mini battle because they can't afford that on this budget. And so,
look, maybe
could it be?
Maybe. Remember, she said she's got another agent working for her. Maybe this agent comes in. Maybe this guy isn't the agent. Maybe this is Justice not Love, the other Justice. Maybe this is Justice Peace or something. Somebody that could come and fight with her that also knows what's going on. And they both could be under Kang. Now, I mean, I keep saying Ravonna is the only link that makes me think Kang. If it was somebody else, not Ravonna there, I'd probably be thinking something different.
You probably be thinking it could be the Beyonder.
No, I wouldn't think to be. I would think the one. I would not think the Beyonder.
In terms of
if you ain't heading towards Secret Wars, you have no reason to be bringing a Beyond into tonight. But like I said, unless this is
might be heading into Secret Wars.
Wanting to do what they want to do. But Secret Wars had nothing to do with time.
They got a lot of stuff going on constantly.
The TVA is not even in Secret Wars. It's
okay, that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that they're not.
I'm just saying.
And what I was gonna say is, in terms of Beyonder history, it looks like the Beyonder is in fact a young member of an ancient otherworldly race known as the Beyonders. He was dragged to Earth by the supervillain geniuses group Intel, but might attract vibranium meteorites. So he's from some ancient group, basically. So that's an idea. Then, so I just think we need to have someone who can do a big battle fight, because I don't think we're going to have this is Marvel. I don't think we're going to have a whole season. There's not a big battle fight. And the question is with who? No one's emerged yet who could be the one to do that. Right? Unless they're going to have Ravonna lead the troops, which would be kind of anticlimactic.
Why not? We just seen on Falcon and Winter Soldier, Carly lead the troops. That was the big battle. She just happened to die at the end. That was the big battle. Who was the big bad in that?
The other Captain America, and
but these are people that we already seen, right? It wasn't no surprise big bad out the words. That's what I'm saying.
But he was strong enough to. You get what I'm saying? Because he had got the super serum. Maybe Ravonna ends up getting some type of powers too.
Maybe she brings in this other agent who comes in and helps her fight.
Okay. Kat Harlem, thanks for joining us in the chat, and I'm happy and safe driving, Kat. Kat says, hello, everyone. I like this episode better than episode 3. I'll be driving, so I'll be listening versus engaging in the chat. Happy chat. Thanks for joining us either way. It's always appreciated. Safe travels, as Bannon tells you. Bannon is also saying, speaking of that, this season better not be ending in a cliffhanger. I will be so salty. I almost am as salty as finding out Wanda's kids were fake. Yes. Although she might be saving them. They might be somewhere else. Look.
Is this the only one out of them 3 that has been already brought on for a second season?
Seems like it.
Yes. I wouldn't be upset they show a cliffhanger. Why? Because I know it's coming back. I'm used to it.
Yeah. Mistress 9 is saying, yeah, it's not Marvel not to have their end battles and sky beams. Exactly. Someone's got to be shooting beams. There's got to be a battle.
All right,
I just don't see that being Ravonna. But like Damon said, it could be the other agent. Boogsworther is saying it could be the Beyonders, but they are entirely too powerful for any of these characters to take out except the Molecule Man. All right, bringing in some Marvel jargon there, Boogsworthy, with the Molecule Man. We love to hear it and read it. It's interesting. I'm kind of baffled right now. I'm like, I don't know where they're going to take this, because I don't know who they're going to reveal as the person behind all of this. Because I do think there are some options, but like others are saying, because of the fact that there could be that there is supposed to be a second season, there's a good chance that it could be, a cliffhanger, and this is just something that has to keep getting revealed and revealed.
See, this is the funny thing with Marvel, how they do stuff. They could have just thrown Ravonna out there for people like me that's just going to be like, oh, Kane got to be in this. Kane got to be in this.
Just like you did with Mephisto, right? With Agatha.
No, it wasn't Agatha.
No, it wasn't the same, Dave. It was the same.
No, I'm listening to what I'm saying. Okay. It wasn't Agatha that made me think that.
But you get what I'm saying? They put something there to make you think something else. Yeah.
But get on me correctly. Don't get on me.
Okay, sir. Okay.
It wasn't Agatha. It was the kid. You said that last week like it was Agatha. It wasn't Agatha.
Okay, but it was something that got you fixated.
Yeah, of course. It was the kids.
So it could be the same thing with this and King.
That's why I brought it up. That's why I just said
you get
Marvel.
So sensitive when people keep reminding you about this.
I'm just saying. I just brought it up. Like, okay, like I know. I'm like, I know that could happen. I just said it.
Okay, sir. Okay. I just, for those of you who are watching, I just put up a little bit of a picture of what supposedly I believe is He Who Must Not Be Named, saying, I alone.
He who remains.
I'm gonna keep butchering that. He who remains, not he who must not be named. He who remains. They have a quote from one of the comics. I alone am left to sow destiny's seeds, and that's why I'm gonna put it out there. I'm gonna throw my hat in the ring, guys. Let me know in the chat and also in the replay. I'm gonna put my hat in the ring. Damon is saying we're gonna get hints of Kang. I am saying it's going to be He Who Remains. I'm putting it out there now that it's going to be He Who Remains that gets revealed to be the person kind of pulling the strings, or at least having created the TVA.
They were talking, see, this is the thing, they were talking a lot of Destiny talk through all these episodes, Loki and Mobius. It was, I can't remember exactly, but that line might have been you, not He Who Alone, but just Destiny Seeds.
Yes.
Know what I mean?
Michael Damian saying, he who must be not be named Lord Voldemort from Harry Potter has entered the chat. Yes, I know.
That's who must not be named.
Yeah, that's what they call Voldemort. I was like, I'm going to keep butchering that.
Yeah. No, I see why you butchered it though. I see why.
Bannon saying, I'm not familiar with He Who Remains. Could you enlighten us a little? Yeah, for sure. Damon was just talking about it earlier, Bannon, but basically He Who Remains was part of the first TVA. Now, this is the Marvel comics, not necessarily Marvel Studios. This may be revealed though, but in the Marvel comics, He Who Remains was part of the very first version of what the TVA was. And then something happened, it got destroyed, and everyone else died or whatever like that, except He Who Remains. And He Who Remains then decided to create another TVA, and he created the Timekeepers, right?
Yeah, he created the Time Twisters first.
Time Twisters. But
then they got their job. Somehow they was doing things the wrong way.
Yeah.
You know, and I think Thor got involved.
Yeah.
And he went to the one He Who Remains and told him they're messing it up. So to fix that mess up, he went back to a different timeline before the Time Twisters were actually fully developed. He went back and he destroyed them in their pods, and then he created the Timekeepers.
So would that not make sense if the Timekeepers are androids? Didn't someone have to create them?
Yeah, someone did. Someone would have.
I'm putting my hat in the ring. Okay, I'm just going to go. I'm going out there and
create them. Look, this is what I'm saying. Being the way the MCU goes about it, you could be completely right. Completely right. It to me, it'd be off. It'd be like you had a good story already to go with. So why make these changes? But this is what they do. So you could be completely right. I wouldn't sit here and say, oh, you're wrong. I just say, well, they already had. I'll say they already had a good storyline to go from. It really want no need to do this, but hey,
I think it makes the most sense. If the Timekeepers are fake, someone had to create them, and if this is part of the comic book of someone having to create the Timekeepers, we have it right there and there. Now, this may also be Marvel trying to throw us off because, let me finish, Damon. This may also be the Marvel trying to throw us off and saying, of course you guys are going to think that because it is in the comics. All you comic book fans are going to think it must be He Who Remains because that's usually who made the Timekeepers. So we throw you off and create someone else. Now, what are you about to say, Damon?
That's a good thing you just stated too about them throwing stuff in to throw people off.
Yeah.
No, I mean that's very good. But what I was going to say is that then they'll be making him a bad guy because this TVA kidnaps people and brainwashes them into thinking that they were already they've been here for their entire life.
Maybe that's that's the alternate to the thing that was the original thing, which was all of them were Mobius clones.
Well, not all, just the agents was Mobius.
Yeah.
The other ones was all the Minutemen were clones, but the Justices weren't exactly clones. You know, you had different ones.
Yeah.
So it was just the Minutemen and Mobius, Mr. It's a lot of different names.
Yeah.
I'm trying to give them the country. Mr. Tesseract. There was a couple more of them. They all looked. They was all clones of Mobius. But all the rest of them wasn't. But being that when Thor was able to go back to the He Who Remains and get him to correct his mistakes, shows that he's not a bad guy. He wants everything to go smoothly. That's the whole thing of it.
Yeah, and I think that could be the same thing of these people, whoever's creating the Timekeepers. Maybe they really do think they're doing something noble. Maybe that's why Ravonna is very much about still supporting it. Maybe she knows who's behind it and she believes in their role. Maybe she believes He Who Remains, who might be the one doing it, saying, I'm just basically carrying on what should have happened in the first TVA. Boogsworthy is saying, I do like the idea of another antagonist working with Kang. Could be a supervillain group working in the background. Shamar, thanks for joining us in the chat. Shamar is saying, I thought they were real, the timekeepers, but they're gone. So someone created androids to puppet as them. Exactly. And the question is, who created the androids? And so I want to know y'all theories. Let us know in the chat and also in the replay. But let's also get to some of, that was kind of the major thing that happened. But then the other thing was that Loki got pruned, but then he woke up, and we saw in the after credit scene, hope y'all sat through the credits to see this, that he woke up somewhere. He doesn't know where. And they're like, he's like, am I dead? Is this hell? Not Hell, but Hel, which is a Norse version of the afterworld.
Did you notice at the end, remember how I kept saying always at the end before it goes to the actual roll-up credits, they always show the face of the one timekeeper?
I wasn't looking this time again. You got to give me
a screenshot. No, you should have looked, because even this time when they showed it, that's when I said he doesn't even look like the guy whose head just got cut off. Mm-hmm. They didn't look alike.
So you think through the post credits, they're still
Kang is he's that type of guy. You know, I'll throw my picture up in there, won't nobody notice it. What's the word I'm looking for? I don't think that's not narcissistic, is it? What the word I'm looking? He's that much into himself, you know.
Narcissistic, yeah.
Yeah, he's that much that that he would throw that in there.
Yeah. Yeah, that might be a thing. Maybe it might be those subtle things. They did it in WandaVision. They had a lot of subtle stuff within the show, which all made us look at things very hard, everything, even the commercials. So maybe that's also another thing. But then Loki wakes up and we see the three different Lokis, right? We see a classic looking Loki that had the bright green and yellow that was very much, I think they said Jack Kirby's Loki. With the classic look. We had Kid Loki, and then I believe that was Alligator.
Huh? We had a Black Loki.
But didn't he have like alligator stuff on him?
No, that's the way the suit looked. You know, okay. The other look, actually, the green and yellow Loki suit should have looked like that kind of too. The green of it looked like it's like chainmail kind of.
Oh, okay.
It's like,
with armor,
like it's layered on top of each other like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's how that Loki green should have looked it too. Only the cape and the horns is yellow.
Yeah.
And the Superman draws. You know the draw. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Only the drawers and the tights all green, but the drawers yellow, the headband yellow. I mean the waistband yellow, this yellow, and the cape. And
now Bannon is saying 4. Did I miss somebody?
Yeah, it was. It was like a blonde. I think it was like a blonde. Another one. It was the kid. It was Kid Loki. Old. I called him Old Loki, the one the yellow. Black Loki, and it was one more Loki.
Oh, I didn't. I think I was paying so much attention to the others. Let's see if I can find a picture of it.
Yeah, it was one more Loki.
So Damon, while I'm looking for a picture, what do you think this means? Do you think this happens for everyone who gets pruned, or do you think this was just specially for Loki? And what do you think? What do y'all think? Also in the chat and replay, what do y'all think this means? Because the Loki said you aren't dead, but you will be if you don't come with us.
Come with us.
So what does that mean?
It sounded like something was going on wherever they were. It was I don't know if it was a battle going on, but you could hear stuff in the background, like it seemed like if he ain't get up, something was going to get him, or something was coming. So I don't know exactly where they sent them to. You know, maybe maybe it's something somewhere where only the Lokis don't actually get pruned. They end up there.
Yeah.
I would hope that, because then it would take the climax out of when she killed Mobius, if he was just gonna go somewhere to come back.
I really hope that's not the last we see of Mobius, because you don't bring Owen Wilson up in here just to have that be the end of him. That just seems silly to me.
I don't know. I like I said, they brought what's his name on to be Ralph Boner. I don't put nothing past him. All right.
True. Just seems anticlimactic for everything they did. Oh, y'all. Okay, so I just looked at the picture.
Like Ralph Boner
I forgot that. No, I'm saying it would seem anticlimactic, but yeah, I forgot. I didn't really see the. I just thought Kid Loki was holding a pet. I didn't see the horns. He actually has an alligator, which is actually a Loki there. So yes, that is also a Loki, y'all. I'm sharing a picture of it now. We have Chainmail wearing Loki. We have Kid Loki. We have classic looking Loki from the Jack Kirby era. And then we have the actual alligator, who is also a Loki. So we got a lot of Loki.
Is Black Loki holding a hammer?
Looks like he is. Maybe he has his own hammer in his version.
He has a Major.
Yeah.
Am I saying that right?
I don't know if you're saying that right.
Something Major.
Yeah. Yeah. Boogsworthy is saying it looked like a bad future of New York. You could see the remains of the Avengers towers in the background. Yeah, I'm looking at the picture now, and yeah, you definitely can see it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, I think this is really cool. I think if this is the case, if all the Lokis that they prune end up in a place together, that would mean that they haven't really killed all those Lokis, that there's maybe an area where there's a whole bunch of Lokis who are various variants there. And it also seems this might connect to what Ravonna was a part of when she went to go get the kid version of Sylvie. Like, why is it that it seems to keep being that Lokis keep getting pruned? Maybe who's ever created this thing, like I was saying, might have something against Lokis because they tend to be the gods and goddesses of mischief and chaos. So maybe whoever is controlling the timeline feels like they have to eradicate the world of this mischief and chaos. That's kind of my theory right now. That's why they seem to have a thing where they're actually really going after Lokis in particular.
Possibly.
So do you let us know in the chat, y'all? Do y'all think when people are pruned that they die, or do they all end up where the Lokis are? Because I can't imagine that there's something special in a Loki's DNA that would make it so they end up somewhere else that anyone else wouldn't end up there either.
I mean, I don't know. There's a bunch of them, and maybe they are special. They always seem to be variants.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it is something about them that's special. I thought when people got pruned, they got wiped from existence.
That's what I thought too.
So,
but I guess that's not what happens necessarily. At least let's keep our fingers crossed for Mobius that is not what happens. Fingers crossed, prayer circle for Mobius. So that's going to be interesting. And I guess this is going to unfold even more stuff that possibly happens. I think if like people are saying that we're getting a season 2 of this may open up a whole nother area of things where there's some outside of the timeline kind of world where Lokis are dealing with a thing. Have we ever seen this in the comic books before? Like a world or a place where there's multiple Lokis? I've
never seen Loki Land or have read about Loki Land. So I don't, but you never get to. I have seen the kid Loki before.
Mm-hmm.
So.
But we've never seen it in the comics where they've all been together having to do something.
No,
right?
The other Lokis has always come when that Loki dies.
Yeah.
Kid Loki showed up when that Loki died. Lady Loki happened to be reborn as a woman when that other Loki died.
Mm-hmm. Bannon is saying, anyone else think that Kid Sylvie's event was because she was good and was wanting to save and help people? Maybe that's why. Maybe that's not what a Loki normally does.
Yeah. That could definitely be it. That could be it. But hold up. Who maybe there's another variant Loki that's running the thing. Maybe that could be your big bad.
A Loki that is
another basically Loki variant, yeah.
That's basically created the Timekeepers. Maybe. Bannon is saying, I read about a Loki that was worthy of the Mjolnir. Is it Mjolnir? Am I saying it? What was it? Mjolnir? Mjolnir. Yeah, the Mjolnir. His hammer, yeah. And wielded it. Yeah, that could definitely be what they're alluding to, which would be very cool to see. But yeah, I don't know where that's going, but I'm curious, and my interest is definitely piqued in that. Let's also talk about the thing I was ranting about a little bit earlier, which was this idea that there might be some weird romance between Sylvie and Loki, our Loki. Y'all let us know in the chat and also in the replay. Are you okay with this if they go that route? Do you think this is a good thing? Do you think this is symbolic of self-love and like literally in the literal sense, or do you think this is kind of a cheap kind of thing, and kind of out of nowhere. I mean, I think we already talked about it earlier that Marvel is just horrible at most of their, at 90% of their romances. They're horrible at it. And then you got that 10% they actually do quite well. And then there's the 90% of everything else we get. And I would, if this is a romance, I would throw this into the 90% pile because this came out of nowhere. I mean, all the time he spent with Thor, who not even by a lot, you know, all this time he spent with so many people. I would have been believing more of a relationship between him and Mobius, because that had chemistry. I would have been more believing of that kind of relationship, or him and Hunter B-15 before I would have thought of him and Sylvie. What do you think, Damon?
I wouldn't have.
Well, what do you think of the idea that there might be
like a thing with him and B-15? It'd have been cute, but I don't see what's wrong with it. If I would think if no one else wants to be around me or feel they can't trust me, and I find someone that's just like me, then we're a perfect match, especially if she's the female version of me. And if I'm always in the mind of thinking that, no, I'm the only Loki, I'm the true Loki, and you're not, I really wouldn't have no problem with it.
So you think it's okay to date a version of yourself? You don't think that's narcissistic? Or that you guys would basically enable some of your bad qualities and things like that?
Look, it might be narcissistic. It might definitely be. But what you expect something more from Loki?
I do, with the growth that they showed us. Yes, this is what I'm talking about. I think if they are showing us that he has grown, why would he then fall so far for someone who's literally another version of himself?
But you said, but didn't somebody just say they thought she was snatched because she wanted to help people? You got to look and see. She's actually a better Loki than him. As far as
I want to go that far.
I ain't talking about as far as badness. As far as goodness, she might be a better Loki than him. So he sees that and picks up on that. He probably sees stuff that he don't see in himself in her.
And is that enough for romance?
For him, it may be.
That's just a bad combo for romance.
Look, he's caring for somebody besides himself.
So you ship this?
I don't see nothing wrong with it.
Do you ship it? Yes or no?
Do I ship it?
Yes.
Like relationship?
Do you root for this relationship? Yes. Let's introduce Damon to shipping, y'all, because shipping is a very big thing in our world.
I could live with it or I could live without it. It doesn't matter. It don't matter to me.
You're neutral on it.
They could be allies and just fight together, but she's a I guess he's saying she's a nice looking female. I'm a nice looking guy, and why not? I don't know. I don't see.
So you can take it either way.
Yeah, I don't see nothing wrong.
So this is what I'm saying, y'all.
But for sake of this argument, I'm gonna say I ship it.
No, that's not how that works. That's not how shipping works. You can't say I ship it because for the sake of the argument. No, literally, that's not how it works.
That's not how shipping
works.
That's
not how shipping works. Either you ship it,
I like this shipment
or
better
you
than
don't
I like,
ship it.
Let's like this. I like this shipment. Is that a word?
Shipment? No.
I like this shipping of Loki and Sylvie than I like the shipping of Natasha and Bruce.
Still not good. Why am I getting an echo? Still not good because basically you hated that Hulk and thing. So the bar is really low.
But I hated it for a reason. I don't see no reason stopping this.
Okay. When you ship something, that means you really want to see them together. When you don't ship it, means you can either take it or leave it, or you don't like it at all. You can be anti-ship. You are take it or leave it. So that means you don't ship it. And this is what I mean. And that's why I'm saying, what's the point of having a relationship in there that I think, if we're going by the way people have responded to it online, that there are a lot of people that are not feeling this at all. And it seems very shoehorned in and doesn't really help the plot go further, you know? And I'm just wondering, why make this a thing? It seems kind of a waste, and it seems kind of thrown in. And I actually want to, before we go to the chat, I see all y'all are saying stuff, and I want to know what y'all are thinking. But before we go to the chat, and also those of y'all in the replay, let us know. I wanna read from some of the things that the writers have said about this relationship and what we're seeing. The writers were saying that was one of the cruxes of my pitch for the series of Loki, that there was going to be a love story. We went back and forth for a little bit about, like, do we really want to have this guy fall in love with another version of himself? Is that too crazy? But in a series that, to me, is ultimately about self-love, self-reflection, and forgiving yourself, it just felt right that that would be Loki's first real love story. The look that they share that moment, it started as a blossoming friendship. Then for the first time, they both feel that twinge of, oh, could this be something more? What is this feeling I'm feeling? These are two beings of pure chaos that are the same person falling in love with one another. That's a straight up and down branch, and exactly the sort of thing that would terrify the TVA. No, I'm sorry, writers. I think you guys are too up on your own, thinking that this was such a smart and such a deep move. And we've seen many writer rooms do this on plenty of shows where they think they're being so smart and deep about something, and they really just kind of miss the ball about, one, what viewers want to see, and two, what would be the logical progression for the character of Loki. And this ain't it, y'all. I get the whole thing of self-love, self-reflection, and forgiving yourself, but that's not happening through falling in love with another version of your idolized self. Per Damon's words, she's probably the good version of him. Do you think that's healthy, to fall in love with the idealized version of yourself that you've only known for all of 12 hours? Do you think that's a progression for Loki?
For him,
it's not. It's not. And I think there are plenty of us who are online and are saying, no, please don't do this. And hopefully they listen, because I don't know where the last 2 episodes are going, but if they are doing a season 2, also, none of us really know Sylvie enough to be believing that this is kind of the equivalent of, you have a really popular character in Loki. You got to make sure whoever he's put with is someone that the fans of this guy also deem worthy of being something of a love story. That's with any character. That's not just with a Loki. You don't make it so all of a sudden we're supposed to believe he's madly in love with someone that we as the audience just friggin' met. We're going to be like, who is what? Even if she's another Loki, it's going to be like, no, guys. And you're just kind of putting something out there that's going to be inherently just rejected off the bat. Shamar is saying, I hope that Loki and Sylvie don't last forever, because I'd like to see Loki have an actual love interest other than himself. Boogsworthy is saying, well, I mean, I guess it's all right since they are kind of the same person. Multiple question mark. Exactly. Bannon is saying, the only romance I truly brought was Wanda and Vision, and even that was a bit weird. Tektro Che, thanks for joining us in the chat, is straight up just putting it out there saying it's incest. Like, this is incest. They are literally the same. And I kind of agree with that, Tektro. I feel like they're not necessarily blood. I mean, incest would more so be Loki and Thor getting together. And I have seen some fan fictions of people shipping Loki and Thor, which is a little weird. But I feel like for the Loki falling in love with himself they're part of the same cosmic family, right? They're part of the same. That's like me having some guy version that comes in here as me, and we're very similar to each other, and I don't feel understood by the world. And then I go out with them, and it's like, what? I'm literally going out with my twin. He's my twin. This person's a twin. It's weird. And it doesn't show growth. It just shows that because I'm so full of myself, I can't see myself loving someone other than myself. How is that growth for this Loki character? It's not. Bannon is saying, but like Mobius said, that relationship was the very essence of chaos. Not saying I agree, but I think they are making a case for it, and it might play into the plot some way. Mm-hmm. Yes, Mistress 9, Valkyrie is right there. Yes, although I was more so shipping Valkyrie with Thor, but I don't know if they're trying to do that. But yes, Valkyrie and Loki had some great chemistry too in the movie, you know. And it was like, she's right there. What are we doing? Shamar is that's a good word, Shamar. Self-cessed. Not incest, self-cessed. When you're literally going out with a version of yourself.
This is the thing. Y'all are really putting so much in the Loki because we've seen them change. So I get it. It's really not Loki. It's this MCU that's doing. They're making him seem like he's no longer self-serving, and so y'all say if he's not that way no more, he shouldn't fall in love with himself. He should be able to love someone else besides himself.
I don't think it's so much that he's not that. I still think our Loki is always going to have aspects of that. So the question is though, but a big love story, Damon. It's a big love story. It's not just, they said this is a love story. This isn't, oh, I'm kind of into myself. I might flirt with myself. This is, I may profess love to myself. Like that's not okay. That's too major. That's too major for a character we're supposed to believe is growing.
That's exactly what I'm saying. You're thinking, oh, but maybe he's growing in another way, just not that way.
Yeah.
I don't see nothing wrong with it. I really don't see anything wrong.
But you're not shipping it, so it actually proves me right. That most people
look. I'm just getting on to what the shipment thing is. All right? Shipping. Honestly, if this is me, and you know this from the rip of it. If you wasn't shipped in the comic books, you shouldn't be shipped in the MCU. That's how I feel. But that's it.
You're a purist in that regard.
That's what I mean by it don't matter to me. But if I was new to this, just coming to it, I like that shipment.
No, you don't like it.
If I was new to it, just coming to it, just watching this, learning about Loki and seeing that, I would be like, wow, they're not really the same. They are kind of different. I guess so. Yeah,
no, Damon, you can't go backtrack. You don't ship it.
I'm not backtracking. I'm saying if I didn't know, I just explained why it doesn't matter to me.
Yeah, which means you don't ship it.
Okay. But like I said, if I didn't know none of that stuff, none of the comic book stuff, none of that other stuff, you know what I mean? I never knew it was what's her name? Sin, I believe that's who he was married. That's who he got married to in the comics. Not Sif. He ain't married her. It was somebody else, Sigrid or some shit.
I remember.
Name. He had the husband killed, and he married the wife. If I didn't know nothing about that, and I'm coming new to this MCU, going off of nothing but the movies, I wouldn't be upset at this. I wouldn't.
All right. It's not about being upset. It's about whether or not you care for them enough to be like, they need to be together. You'd say that? You'd go that far?
In this
episode, no, you wouldn't. You hesitated.
How do you know what
you wouldn't, Damon, because you would have said it immediately.
No. See, you
just want to have the opposite argument.
You keep bypassing me saying the only reason is because I am a purist, and I don't think
I didn't say that.
All right, when I'm saying I don't think nobody that wasn't shipped in the comic should be shipped in any of these movies. That's my underlying thing of why I'm saying I don't care either way. Or I'm saying if I didn't feel that way, if I didn't know nothing about the comics and was just going off this, after watching this, I felt the connection between them. I seen it coming. I felt the connection. I didn't know if they're gonna go with it, but they went with it. Know what I mean? I honestly thought it was something when she walked up on him in the thing and he was like, what are you doing? I was like, nah, they ain't gonna try that. But they did.
I thought that there was, and I was like, I hope they don't do it.
But that
ever
moment,
since she's been introduced, I've been saying, I hope they don't do this. Kat Harlem is saying in the chat, this is why a majority of the Marvel romances are lame. They've known each other for less than 2 days. Exactly. Yeah. And I'm supposed to believe in 2 days, it's like, this is new for me. You just met this person.
Exactly. I believe you. I believe you, but they make it happen. Come on.
Mistress 9 is saying, heck, Loki and Lady Sif had more chemistry than him and Sylvie. Yeah. Bannon is also saying, I didn't pick up it being a big love story, so I guess I didn't want to see it. Yep. I think most of us didn't want to see it. Michael Damian is saying, watching you two, me and Damon, is better than watching Frenemies. For those of you who might know the Frenemies podcast. Yeah.
Oh, I bet see that's a show. Friend of me.
It is. It used to be a show. It's on YouTube. Kat Harlem is saying
we're siblings.
Siblings, yes. Siblings is enough. That explains enough of the way we argue. You don't even need this fancy word for it. Siblings. Kat Harlem is also saying, in response to Damon saying if he was new to it, Kat Harlem saying, I'm semi-new to it. I'm disappointed in that storyline. I am disappointed in the Sylvie and Loki. Thank you, Kat, because it's just I don't understand. Shamara saying it's very weird that they went this route. And y'all, I had another quote that I meant to actually read to y'all from the director Kat Herron. She says, who's a better match for Loki than himself? Director Kat Herron chimes in. The whole show is about identity. It's about him, and he is on a very different path, and he is on a different journey. He sees things in Sylvie that he is like, oh, I've been there. I know what you feel. But she's like, well, I don't feel that way. And I think that was the kind of fun thing about it. She is him, but she is not him. They've had such different life experiences. So just from an identity perspective, it was interesting to dig into that. Yeah. No, Kat. Sorry. Still, it's interesting to dig into it. I just hope that y'all don't make this his big love story of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I mean,
I don't think
maybe Sylvie has to die at the end of this. I don't know. I'm just not here for it. Mistress 9 is saying, I just wanted Loki to go full villain and wreck everything. That would also been cool. Yeah, y'all.
For him to go back to the old him and just.
Well, him that was in the first Avengers movie when he was bad. Yeah. That's also interesting.
That Loki though.
Yeah, sorta. But yeah, let us know, y'all, in the chat and also in the replay. Are y'all shipping? Not shipment. Are y'all shipping?
Shipping is a word though. Shipping
is a word.
See,
when you want a couple together, you are shipping. When you don't want them, you are anti their ship. And if you are indifferent to it, you are not shipping. You just are indifferent to them. You don't pay attention to them. So let us know in the chat and also the replay, y'all, if you are shipping this, or if you think this is just a bad misstep on their part, or are you okay with it if it's like gonna be only short term? I guess I'd be all right with it if Sylvie dies in the end somehow. I'd be all right with it if she dies. Bannon is saying all the Lokis die a lot, but they keep coming back. That is also very true.
Very true.
Yeah. So, was there anything else that we forget? Do you think that Hunter C20 is dead, Damon? Do you think they pruned her, or is she somewhere else?
Honestly, I thought she might have been somewhere else, but seeing how she pruned Mobius, I think she pruned already.
I think C20 might be dead, y'all. Let us know. Prayer circle for C20 too. Because I kind of hope she's not dead.
I do think we will see. Look, even though they didn't show us the other Mobius other characters, I do think that we will see a Justice. I think it's going to be at the end of it, because evidently the TVA is needed, because some variants probably do need to be so they might be needed. So you might really need a Justice to come in and do things the right way. And B-15 looks like a prime candidate for that.
Yeah.
Like if this is as far as her storyline goes, I think I didn't see her get pruned, Shamar, so I think she might be alive.
Shamar is asking, do we think Hunter B-15 is alive? And I hope she is. I think she just got knocked out. So she might end up working with Sylvie a bit more to get answers out of Ravonna. So yeah. But y'all, if you haven't already, please do give this video a like. Please feed the YouTube algorithm monster. And if you'd like to show some super chat love for us, it is always appreciated. Super chat love. We love that love, and we love talking to y'all in the chat. But super chat donations are also appreciated as well. It could be as little as $1 to whatever you want to throw at us with it. I think that's kind of the main stuff that we got here with kind of some of the things. And I guess next week is the episode before the season finale, y'all. We're already there. We got 6 episodes. Seems like we might be getting a second season, but a second season of what? Who knows? Right now, Damon, if you had to give a grade to the whole season thus far, what grade would you give it?
Honestly, I'm reluctant to really give that grade because I would like to see how it ends.
Do you think it's going to depend on the ending for you?
I mean, probably so. I'm not disappointed in it. I'm not disappointed in it.
Okay.
I'm not disappointed in it because I can't look at the other shows and expect this to go like that because none of them did.
Mm-hmm.
The new Captain America and Winter Soldier didn't go how WandaVision did, so I don't expect Loki to go how that one did. You know, I would have to see. So far, I give it a mid season grade of a B minus.
I was gonna say the same exact thing. I give it a midway point of a B minus so far. I am not blown away with WandaVision, which is still, as we all decided in the last stream, probably the best one thus far. I definitely would still, I give WandaVision an A. I'm giving this kind of a B minus. And I think right now, depending on where the next 2 episodes go, it might get lower. I think what's going to determine it for me is who they decide their big bad is of this season, or who's the person kind of, and if depending on who it is, that might go a little bit higher, or it may go lower. So right now, for me, it's the main thing.
If these next 2 episodes aren't, I mean, they got to be better than episode 2. All right.
Well, yeah, it's the last 2 episodes.
Yeah, so and I'm hoping it'd be better than this episode or episode 3, hopefully. I mean, it shouldn't go lower.
Yeah. I agree.
Hopefully it'll go up. Hopefully,
but to me, it's going to depend on what we were doing all of
let down.
Yeah, but for me, I feel like it's going to depend on what we were doing all of this for. You know, I feel like Sylvie's whole thing about wanting to just basically get rid of the Timekeepers was also kind of anticlimactic. Her main thing was simply, I got kidnapped and I ended up going on the apocalypse or whatever. I wonder, why didn't she use the thing to go back to her own timeline? You know, where her family and stuff was.
Well, she did say they was still chasing them.
But wouldn't she have had the gods on her side, like a Thor and, I was going to say Poseidon, the gods and everything on her side to fight off the TVA?
Well, I don't look. This is what I'm wondering about. They did the thing in her time zone when they took her. So did that erase her out of existence there?
I don't know. I feel like I wonder, is that what it did? Like, would they have not had known her?
Yeah, they said it.
Would they have not known her when she went back? Is that how that works?
Possibly.
I don't know. It just seemed weird that she was just like, I couldn't go. Like, she never thought to put in the coordinates back to her own time. But then time does move different. But she could have went back. And like other people asked, they were like, why did they go get them? Why did the TVA go get them if they were already, like when Loki and Sylvie were on there, they're like, do you see that branch? That's where they are. But they were in the apocalypse. They were literally about to die. Why did they save them?
The Timekeepers wanted them. You remember what's the name told
them why want them if they're gonna be pruned?
I have no idea, but she did say you need to find them because the Timekeepers wanted the variants.
But I felt like that was more so find them before they do something else, not find them when they're about to die and save them and bring them in before they get pruned. But it was weird.
Remember when they touched or whatever they did and the line started branching off, maybe they'd have let that continue even though they were going to die. Maybe it would have already did enough damage to destroy the secret timeline.
Yeah, maybe it would have been like a beacon call to other Lokis or something like that Lokis are capable of really caring for each other. Who knows? So far, I don't know where this season is going, and I'm not enthralled as much as I was with WandaVision, but I definitely am curious to see where this goes. So any final thoughts, Damon, before we close it out?
Every show they've been like showing us a lot of Young Avengers. I don't know if we're gonna have a Young Avengers, but this is like the 3rd show where we got we just seen, even though Sylvie was but she's not. I don't know. They don't mix and Lady Loki storyline together. I guess. I don't know.
Well,
And
seemingly.
she's like 20 years older than what she should be. Like so. But we did see Kid Loki.
Yeah.
He's a young Avenger. You know, we got to see well, they didn't actually break out the new Falcon, but they did show the guy who becomes the new Falcon.
In Falcon and Winter Soldier, yeah.
Yeah, Torres. And we seen Wiccan and Speed, right?
And WandaVision, yeah.
So I'm wondering if they setting us up for after we get the new Hawkeye girl, are they gonna set us up for I forgot. We also seen young Patriot and when the Falcon 2, we seen Elijah Bradley.
So your hope is that somewhere down the line we're gonna get a younger.
Yeah, maybe that's what all three of these things are also leading to.
Maybe.
I would hope so.
Let us know what y'all think, and also in the chat, and well, more so on the replay as we close it out, y'all. Do y'all think that we're also getting breadcrumbs into a Young Avengers? Would you be down for that? Are you excited for a Young Avengers since we don't have the other Avengers at the moment anymore? I guess technically.
And we got the new Miss Marvel. She's an Avenger also, right?
Yeah, I guess depending on how that story goes. Her show hasn't come out yet. We don't know what they're gonna do with her.
Marvel is crazy. There's a lot of other movie things that's following Marvel. I don't know if they see it. You got Mortal Kombat bringing in people who don't even exist into it and calling them characters. And I believe this same guy is playing a talking Snake Eyes. When the fuck Snake Eyes start talking?
I don't know.
Marvel,
that's how adaptations work. All right, y'all. Thanks so much for joining us. You have a great rest of y'all week, y'all. Stay cool out there because there's been this heat wave. It's been hot. Stay cool, stay hydrated, stay healthy. And thank you once again for joining us as we talk Loki. And God willing, we'll be here next week talking episode 5. Till then,
that episode to be better.
Yes. Until then, Excelsior.
Excelsior.